Juan Mendez Scott's Big Sexy Chapter 2. Netta? Come on, Netta, what do you mean, what money? The money you got snitching on that well-known drug dealer over in Southeast DC. When Maggie noticed me getting uncomfortable, even looking around to see who was watching, at the mentioning of my involvement with that drug dealer Kevin Kumo Richardson, this brought her sheer delight. Now it was time Maggie found some past wounds of mine. Yes, I was scared out of my mind. And there were still some days I found myself damn near breaking my neck looking over my shoulders. Who doesn't know about that? I'm sure he does. The kingpin, I mean. I'm sure he thinks about you every single day while he's doing double. Or was it triple life he got? I could feel the sweat building on the back of my neck. I don't know anything about that, I said, obviously lying. Everybody knew I was one of Kumo's many girlfriends. Everybody knew about me snitching. Some people remembered that I was so scared I cried as I sat on the witness stand. Maggie started abusing me mentally, nasty smirk and all. His family and his boys haven't caught up with you yet? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a stupid question. I guess you wouldn't be standing here if they did, huh? I didn't snitch on anybody. Yes, you did, Maggie said, taunting a grin. No, I didn't. Everybody was shocked that you didn't take the witness protection program. You must really love the DC area. His own family snitched him out. I thought you said you didn't know anything about it. I don't. I'm pretty sure that whole thing with that hustler stressed you out something terrible, girl, huh? Stressed out about what? Maggie stared at me a moment, at my t-shirt and jeans, my long curly hair in a ponytail, and she could tell that life had been a struggle for me since high school. You don't seem happy, though, she said. You seem bitter. I have no reason to be bitter, I said with a slick grin. But you do. Maggie gave me a nasty glare that was bound with murder, like she wanted to strangle me. I giggled my ass off, loving it. No, you don't look like you've gotten over it, Maggie. I heard what happened. You heard what happened? What do you mean you heard what happened? Maggie was getting pissed. Her voice was cracking. Now it was time for the big bee sting. And her mental breakdown was allergic to this sting. I heard about the whole mental institution and everything, and I had to stop. I was about to laugh in Maggie's face. I got myself together and said, I heard what happened, Maggie. I heard they had to take you away. Maggie was so furious with me for bringing that up that it brought flame-burning tears in the corners of her eyes, and she still didn't blink. She wanted to kill me right then and there. She always blamed me for Craig's suicide. Maggie got so lost glaring into my eyes she got dizzy, and it was at that moment Maggie thought back to our prom night. It was reported that in the motel room they were staying in, Craig was drunk and upset when he pulled a gun from out of nowhere. Maggie told reporters that she was scared, crying, begging him to tell her what was going on, that she was madly in love with him, and that she forgave him for breaking up with her to be with me. Netta Daniels, Netta for short, the prettiest girl at Friendly High School. I remember Maggie moping around the school when Craig broke up with her to be with me, but eventually, she got over it. Especially after I used poor Craig and spent all of his money up and dumped his ass. Craig paid for my prom dress, shoes, and everything. After I dumped him, I ended up going to the prom with Nate Roman, the cutest boy in school. So Craig got back with Maggie, and they went to the prom together. So that's how Maggie got over Craig leaving her for me, thinking she won him back, beating me out. The only problem was poor Craig went into a deep depression when I dumped him. So on our prom night, in a hotel room, Craig got sloppy drunk, put his dad's gun to his head, and blew his brains out all over Maggie. The trauma from the incident drove Maggie crazy, putting her into a deep depression and in need of psychological help. I was told by a friend of mine that after we graduated high school, Maggie was seen running through our Tantalon neighborhood, in her nightgown and barefooted. My friend said she was knocking on people's doors, screaming that Craig was chasing after her with his brains oozing out of his head. Her family finally caught up with her and had her put in the psych ward,